I love problem solving. Now, a while back, actually, you certainly see this on X and Twitter and all sorts of places. Actually, X is Twitter, what am I saying? You probably see this little blueprint, automated make a lot of money. And the blueprint starts off with learn one high value skill. Now, this blueprint doesn't go into detail on what high value skill, what exactly is a high value skill. It just doesn't say that. It says learn a high value skill. This is how you make a lot of money. You learn a high value skill, you get really, really good at it, then you create a course or you train other people on it and you charge money for other people, for you to help them with this high value skill. And then maybe eventually you put on online courses with this high value skill. So this high value skill that you have is going to be your gravy train to riches. And you're right, they're absolutely right. You have to have a high value skill because you could have plenty of low value skills, but a high value skill is the easiest thing to be able to monetize. High value skill. So perfect. But the question is, what is the high value skill? What's an example of a high value skill that everyone should have? And if you ask me, there is one high value skill that all human beings have the capability to build. And if they don't already, they probably already do, but they just don't understand that this is something that they've already got built into their souls, is the ability to problem solve. If you ask me, that is the highest value skill. Problem solving is really all you need, because once you have the skill of problem solving, once you can be presented with a problem. So here's what I mean by problem solving. You're probably thinking, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Chris? What is problem solving? Okay. Problem solving is the ability to be presented with a problem. Any problem at all. It doesn't matter if it's in your field or not in your field. It's just a problem. There's something wrong, right? Let's say your car can't start. You're sitting, you just got back from the bookstore, you got your books, you're putting them in the trunk, you're sitting in front of the wheel, you turn the engine, it doesn't start. It's a problem, right? How do you solve that problem? Now, some people will just give up, they'll throw their hands up into the air and go, I don't know, I better call in a mechanic. I don't know anything about anything. I better call a mechanic. I don't know anything about it. But problem solvers, what will problem solvers do? Well, problem solvers will probably open the hood and look. They'll look under the hood and see, is there anything I can do? Or is there anything that's obvious that could be the problem? I mean, it's entirely possible that it's not obvious. But then again, it could be obvious. The actual act of looking under the hood tells me that you're more proactively interested in problem solving. You can solve a problem. And what if, when you opened up the hood, you realized that the connection to the battery was loose? And you thought, let me see if I can tighten this connection to the battery. Close the hood and start the car. You've just saved yourself from calling AAA and waiting 40 minutes or whatever, because you are a problem solver. You decided to take action and attempt to solve a problem even if you had no idea on how to work a car. Right? You're not a mechanic. You don't know anything about cars. Well, maybe you know a little bit about cars, but you don't know enough to be a full-blown problem solver. But maybe just having that little bit of skill to be able to try messing around and solving the problem is what will get you to the next level, or actually even solve the problem like it did in that particular situation. So if you ask me, the highest value skill you can have is problem solving. And I think that not only is problem solving a high value skill, it's a skill that will take you to every other skill. So if you have the ability to problem solve, every single thing that comes across your desk, every single thing that comes to you in your life, you should be able to figure out. I mean, I had this once on interview questions when I used to hire people. I would say, okay, a problem comes across your desk that you've never seen before. What do you do? And depending on the answers of these individuals would help me decide whether or not they were somebody who I'd like to hire. And if they went off and did a bunch of work to try and learn what the problem could have been and then try to solve the problem, that told me that they had more of a proficiency at problem solving, which, if you ask me, is the key skill that everyone needs to have. I'll tell you an example. So I used to be a director of technology at a web design company. I know nothing about sales. I was an engineer. I did software development and I managed software developers. Well, we had a really tough time one year and they decided they wanted to let me go. And I said to them, I can't. You can't let me go. This was when I was on my TN visa. I said, if you let me go, then I'm going to have to go back to Canada. And I've started building my life here. I don't want to go back to Canada right now. So what can I do? And they said, well, we need somebody to sell. We need somebody to be able to go out there and sell websites to people. And I said to myself, what do you know about selling websites? Nothing. I can't sell websites. I've never sold anything in my life. I'm a technologist. But I said to myself, listen, for the sake of me staying here and my family, I will take this job and I will learn how to sell. About 3 months later, I brought in a $175,000 contract. A few months later after that, I brought in a $250,000 contract. After that, even higher contracts. I didn't know anything about selling. Nothing. But I knew how to problem solve. And once you know how to problem solve, you put it in yourself as a problem. You say, I don't know how to sell. How do I learn how to sell? How do I sell? You learn how to sell. You figure out how to sell. You start selling and boom. Suddenly you have that skill. The problem-solving skill set can lead you to anything. And once you have that problem-solving skill set, it's a joy because any problem that comes along is solvable. If you suddenly have to change jobs and learn JavaScript or some new software development language, you can learn it. You have the skill to grow and learn. And every single human being has this skill. So don't worry so much. If there's a new thing that you got to learn, just learn it. Problem solving is the only skill you need. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.